and welcome to Rauta's opinion videos. Today we're touching on a particularly touchy subject with censorship, things getting closed down, deplatformed and whatnot. People might have heard the news about American underground distro label Elegy Records closing its doors and shutting it down, it seems, forever. And there has been a little bit of debate, underground anyway, because it's not obviously a mainstream label, about why these things are happening, who is responsible, why this shouldn't be happening, and whatever. Now, I try to keep this as apolitical as possible because I don't want to pick any sides here basically, and I'm not a political person. That must be said every time I touch a subject such as this, unfortunately so. But anyway, this is not about political rant, or this is not a political rant, but more about like, where do we draw the line? What is the meaning of free speech? Who runs the show? And whatever. So some whiskey to go and let's get it going. Meanwhile, I was just sipping my whiskey. You probably already out tapped. Went to search for Elegy Records and all that stuff, and probably read something, or maybe you just did that prior to watching the video. Nevertheless, if you did, good. You're more on the topic than if you would be without this. To keep the story short, it seems that Elegy Records had to kind of shut it down because some credit card companies are not accepting them as a customer anymore, and it seems that PayPal is not accepting them anymore, and so forth. Now, I'm not gonna talk just about Elegy Records. I'm also gonna talk a little bit about why Bandcamp, PayPal, Discogs, and so forth are also kind of censoring some of the bands. Now, what I'm aware of, this seems to mean that these bands are more or less chosen the wrong political party to go with. Me, I'm personally fine with that, but in the terms of free speech and being deplatformed from certain services, I'm not quite so happy about it. Basically, it's same thing which is happening on Facebook on a broader scale. Some things are just not okay to be published. For Facebook, this usually means no religious fervor, no nudity, no sex, no hate speech, obviously, and no racism, no I don't know how the list goes on. But the thing is, there are lots of topics which you're not allowed to talk, which I can guess in a way I understand. I mean, it's not a public service. It's more like a big stock market run business. So obviously they want to keep it clean and nice, which is then again totally understandable. But when it comes to, places that are actually like selling music or doing basically money delivery services such as PayPal, or hosting music such as Bandcamp, I find it a tad bit weird. But like I said, they are businesses. They are not, public services by country or anything like that. So we cannot basically say that, hey, this is all about freedom of speech. I have more rights. I know. No, that's not the liberal world thing. I mean, customer and business, they have sort of say understanding about how the things work, and there are license agreements and end user agreements and whatever, how things go. And if you don't follow those guidelines, well, then you're a bad customer, then you know how you're operating. But that's kind of a point aside. Now, Elegy Records, it seems, has to kind of shut down because it's not possible to run a business anymore, or just around money orders and cash checks and whatnot. Those are the things of yesterday. Sure, they might work in some countries and be totally valid things, but if you run an international underground metal business, it's like no go. And of course, some people, already stepped up on the barricades and started like, oh yeah, this means war and this means that, and like how can you do that and all that stuff. Well, what can I say? If you go to the danger zone, if you want to go outlaw, prepare to get shot. And by that I mean certain bands just want to go to the extremes. They want to be dangerous. They want to see as the kind of targets because they're, singing about hot potato topics. And as such, I think they are not eligible to kind of a bitch about being pushed by the powers that be. I'm not gonna say it's right, like morally. This is beyond morals, in my opinion. This is about basically the stronger setting the rules and pushing the little ones. And by that, I mean, well, these underground metal bands which have some very extreme topics, I mean, they choose to do that way. And I understand for many reasons why, but I cannot basically, shed a tear for these kind of actions. I mean, like, for example, if a National Socialist BM band uh, wants to do some like total anti-Jewish lyrics or anti-Islam or anti-whatever, like really some badass lyrics and all that stuff, I guess in the terms of art and regarding of freedom of speech and all that stuff, it's totally fine. But if you choose to go that way, you kind of deny yourself the the reason to bitch and cry about if people are not accepting that as like a going to their business. So these guys or bands or whatever, basically they had to choose to eat the cake or save the cake. You cannot have both. So in those terms, I have like very little sympathy for the devils here. I mean, what can you do? And as such, I don't bitch and moan when things are shut down because they choose to go this outlaw, dangerous way. But on the other hand, I find it really annoying that we have this kind of double standard thing going on. So, for example, I'll try to put it in a simple way because I have already touched the subject in my prior videos regarding politics and whatnot in metal. The thing is, if you are a like small thing, like small band or kind of that kind of stuff, it's easy to be target, be it Antifa or be it like businesses and whatnot, and nobody gives a damn except the small group in the underground. They are easy targets because they don't have the big mass, behind them to go on the barricades to do their fighting and all that stuff. So little bands, they will lose. There's no question about it. Be it about like removed from Bandcamp, being removed from YouTube, being removed from PayPal and whatever. And also, if you're like a mid-level thing, you might have some chances, but if your shows are gonna get cancelled, if your music is gonna get removed, there's basically nothing you can do. You cannot sue a company for not hosting your music if it's against their like agreements in the first place, or if there's kind of like hate speech reasons to remove that. I mean, like, hey, too bad. You decided to do the type of music that doesn't fit the business model here, and so be it. But what if you are already big enough? Say, like, really big metal rock artist, maybe a big hip hop artist, rap artist. Like, for example, in this Elegy Records thing, it was said that, like, that they were kind of blocked because promoting hate speech, promoting rape, promoting violence, promoting this and that. Well, yeah, sure, good points in a way. So why can certain hip hop bands do this? Why they are not removed from these mentioned pages? Like, where you draw the line? Are they just way too big to become kind of untouchable? Or what's the reason here? Is metal an easy target because, like I said, the fan base is small for the smaller bands, and this is kind of what bugs me. I'm not like a defender of all kind of metal music. I mean, with certain, let's put it this way, turn it like kind of like upside down. There was this superhero saying like, with great powers come like great responsibilities. Sure, in a way that makes sense. So on the, if we turn it the different way, the opposite way, it is like with great dangerous topics you get yourself kicked in the head or pushed around or whatever, like I said. But it seems that it only happens when you're small enough because these powers that are against them are not that big either. So basically, this is a sandbox with some kids pushing around, and all the smaller kids basically get pushed, and that what really annoys me. But then again, this should be also kind of like a point to the artists, which don't always seem to remember that this world is, in fact, a business-driven thing. This is no tinfoil hat things. These are not like some conspiracy theories. I mean, if there's a business who doesn't want to get its hands dirty because of some material that is being spread on the pages, like downloadable music, music videos, or business transactions, whatever. So these should be, these should understand that that's why they don't get there. I mean, like, if you wanna be like easy to be sold, if you wanna sell your music, be easy to approach, do that kind of music. Don't go to the so-called danger zone. Don't do the kind of political stuff that will be getting you in danger and all that stuff. And it goes the other way around also. I mean, like, if you want to do that, if that's your principle or major motivation to piss people off or criticize those powers, don't cry when those powers just kick you in the face. So by no means I'm defending left and the liberal, and I'm not gonna attack the right and the just and whatever. I mean, like, those are all really annoying type of classifications or groups or whatever. I don't want to get involved in those because I mean, like, I think I know how these things work. So what can I say? Word to the wise. Um, you do what you do, but just you accept the rules if you cannot break them anyway. And most of the bands are not able to break those rules. If you want to be a criminal, accept that the police is gonna get after you. If you want to go after touchy subjects, be ready that you will be targeted. The day of the anonymous, the day of the free art and 100% free speech, it's over if that ever was there in the first place. Now you have to understand that most countries in this world are not that liberal. And if you are like anti-liberal, like being this very hard, extreme political that is like against all liberal, they tend don't pretend that you can just ride the same boat, you know, take the liberal freedom for you when it's okay for you, and then oppose the rest of the day. Because I mean that's basically the save the cake, eat the cake dilemma. You cannot just have the both ways. You can basically go, pick up the pieces of best of both worlds, basically, but to only a certain extent. You just cannot have it all and pretend that it's totally okay. So, big bands all know this, and many big artists, even in the hip hop rap industry, probably know this, but also quite a few of them are actually behind bars because they went too far. Not maybe for musical reasons, but I mean, they talk the talk, and to talk the talk talk and also walk the walk. And I don't think most metal bands are gonna do that. And now I'm not gonna defend hip hop or rap or any other form of music and put it against metal. This is just beside the point. But all I'm saying, you just have to pick the game you're ready for. And if you are ready for the kind of outlaw stuff, sure, then accept the consequences. Don't go bitching on online like why this was happening and why this wasn't happening. World is unfair. No shit, Einstein. It isn't fair. It's fair for the people who are at power, who have the power, who have the money, influence, contacts, and who don't do bad decisions. That many anyway. So I kind of feel that it's kind of a shame that these kind of things like Elegy Records is shutting down. It's a shame. It really is. I mean, like underground labels gone and some bands getting removed from Facebook, YouTube, Bandcamp, whatever. I mean, it's kind of a shame, but then again, it's also going to back to the underground. I mean, people used to trade tapes and later on CDRs and whatever before all this downloadable, streamable stuff was even available. So even if we have to go back to that stuff, so what, really? I mean, it's not like the really extreme music will go like away. It's just going back to underground, and people have to accept that. If they're not willing to do the extra trouble to get that underground extreme hardcore whatever material, well, too bad. That's how these things roll. Anyway, I'm expecting some negativity, maybe some trolling and whatever accusations because of this video. Keep them coming. I'm more than happy to get back to that stuff as soon as I'm back from my vacation. So see you soon with more videos coming your way. Take care and stay strong.